Hello, my name's Jill Blanchard, and I have been a Christian probably only the last few years. I've been going to church my entire life. I was very blessed to have a mother who was a devout believer in God and Jesus Christ and the power He had in our lives. But I was going to a church that was very old school, that preached at you instead of, taught you what the Bible meant and what Jesus was talking about and what Jesus actually said. Life changed for me very dramatically when I was 14. My older brother and I had gone up to visit some friends up in Portland, Oregon. We lived in Medford, so the southern to the northern ends of Oregon. And my girlfriend had an older boyfriend. We ended up going to one of those underage dance clubs that were the rage back in the 80s or wherever it was, 70s, I don't remember. They were dancing and I was cold, so I went out to the car to get my sweater, and I was attacked in the parking lot very brutally. It was difficult because people walked by and watched and kept moving. And next thing I knew, I woke up in a hospital. I was back in Medford, Oregon. I had been beaten pretty severely. Been given several wonderful diseases that you have to tell people about the rest of your life. And that's hard because you feel dirty, you feel tainted, you feel like you're not a pure person any longer. And I was also impregnated, and my parents chose, while I was comatose, to take the baby. So that was tough for me because I don't believe in abortion. And for a long time, I really thought God would feel that I was a bad person for that, but I've come to realize that that was something that wasn't within my control. I wasn't awake for it. I wasn't the one who said, do this. And yet I still don't know if I could have done it myself. I don't think I could have. I think I would have probably had to have the baby. And what if the baby looked like that man I can still see in my face every day? I've always had a lot of guilt for those things that happened back when I was a child, back in my life, that God would think I wasn't right, that I wasn't perfect in His eyes. But I don't feel that way anymore. This last couple of years, I've come to realize that that's not what I am, and God loves me anyway. God loves me no matter what's happened. He's forgiven me for anything that I may have done. He's forgiven me for all the sins that I may have committed or that anyone's committed against me. And I've actually even grown to forgive the two men that have attacked me in my life. And so I feel very comfortable in that now. I don't have guilt for it any longer. And maybe that's why it's easier for me to talk about these days. I really don't feel like I became a Christian until maybe just a couple, 3 years ago. And even more so this last year. I've been going through a rough time in my house and in my world. And now have a son that's possibly terminal, and it's been very difficult, and God's been where I've gone for solace. And I have a beautiful friend named Marlia Cochran that has brought me through that. She's been my spiritual mentor and has started explaining a lot of the Bible to me. And one day she'd been inviting me to come and visit this church that she goes to. And one morning I just woke up and I just felt like I needed to hear the message that was going to happen at church that day, and I've been coming ever since. And it's been a beautiful part of growing and learning for me who Jesus Christ is, and I just completely feel like I have Christ in my heart now. I've been transformed.